So look what I got. iPhone 16 Pro Max. This was such a hassle to actually get my hands on. I don't get sent it by Apple like a lot of other creators. I actually had to buy this, and the pre-order times were just crazy for Toronto. So I actually had to go to Montreal to pick this up, but it was definitely worth it just to make content for you guys. This year I did pick up the same black model as I had last year, so black titanium, just because I love how stealthy it looks. It goes really well with my MacBook, which is in space black, and also my Apple Watch. Most of my jewelry and things are black, so I just feel like it goes better, and I know I'm not gonna get bored of it like 6 months down the line. I also got some goodies sent over by TAC. They are today's sponsor. They even gave me a handwritten note to thank me for showing off their cases in this video. But yeah, they sent me a couple cases and a screen protector, which I'll be showing later on. So yeah, without any further ado, let's unbox this and see what's new. So right now I am fully set up. I haven't really organized my apps, but I have them all pretty much downloaded. For some reason, I couldn't restore from my 15 Pro Max. I'm assuming because I was on the beta and this isn't on the beta. I really didn't want to put the beta on here because it's gonna just butcher the battery life and overall make it super hard to review. So I wanted to leave it completely stock. There was an update, which I have done to the latest version of iOS 18. And that is just for some minor bug fixes and optimization for the new devices. But yeah, so far it does feel a lot like my 15 Pro Max in the hand. It is a little bit taller, a little bit bigger overall. You have a 6.9-inch display compared to last year's 6.7. So literally just a tiny bit bigger. But something I do really notice is the bezels are a lot smaller. So they're 20% thinner than last year's. You can definitely see just how thin they are. And when you have a smartphone case on, it almost completely hides that black border around the outside. So you do have almost an edge-to-edge full screen experience, apart from the dynamic island, of course. But yeah, other than that, and the button on the side, which is your new camera button, it is pretty much the same. Like in terms of design, there's nothing really new here. But at the same time, I actually kind of like it because I really love the boxy design. I love the titanium and the matte finish on the back. So I'm glad they didn't really move away from this design too much because I really do like it. And I think it's pretty beautiful. The main differences are going to be inside of this device, like the new camera sensor for the wide angle lens, as well as the new 4K 120 video, and also the new A18 Pro, which is going to give you better performance, more efficiency, and overall better battery life. But I will have to test that out, and I'll show you all the details of that in my full review. But this year, I really feel like Apple tailored this device towards photographers and videographers. Just by adding that camera button, even on the non-Pro models, it's really kind of pushing the photo capabilities of this phone and also the video. So in terms of video, now you get 4K 120. So you can go ahead and slow down your footage to 60 or 30, and you're gonna get much smoother results, especially useful for capturing B-roll on your phone. So this is like a content creator's dream right here. And also, you have some new cameras. So you have the new wide-angle lens, which is now capable of 48 megapixels. It is pretty good in daylight, but when it comes to low light performance, it's actually a little bit worse than last year's. But I guess that's what you get from having more megapixels. But now it's time for today's video sponsor, which is TAC. So TAC kindly sent me out some of their cases for the new iPhone 16 Pro Max. So if you want something very minimal and thin, that doesn't add a lot of bulk to your phone, these are definitely going to be something that you're interested in. So I have two colors here. I have Arctic Frost and Graphite Frost. So basically a white as well as a black. And because they are so thin, you can actually slightly see through them, so you can still see the phone underneath the case. This year, the cases are made of an upgraded plastic, so they are definitely stronger and less flexible than the other TAC cases I've reviewed. And these ones right here are ultra thin. They are 0.7 millimeters thin, and they overall weigh 15 grams for the larger size, but if you get the smaller case, it's only 13 grams. So it doesn't add a lot of bulk to your phone, and it's mainly geared towards preventing scratches and minor knocks and bumps, just so it doesn't damage the aesthetic of your phone, but it's not really gonna protect against larger drops. The case completely covers all of your buttons apart from that camera shutter button, so you still have full access to all of the capabilities. The buttons are super tactile. There's no mushy buttons like a lot of other cases out there, so they have a nice click to them. And there's also camera lip protection on the back, which protects your lenses, and there's a slight lip on the front. So even without the screen protector, if you put your phone face down, it's going to protect your screen. They also sent me out a tempered glass screen protector. I got the matte version, and it is really nice because it reduces glare, reflections, as well as fingerprints, and overall gives you that paper-like experience when you're swiping and scrolling around on your phone. If you want to pick one of these cases up, there is a 10% discount using my link down below, or you can use code MR10 for that 10%. So yeah, pretty awesome cases. Thank you for TAC for sending these out to me. Something that really did surprise me is the camera button is a physical button. So from everything I heard, I kind of assumed it was relying on like the haptic engine and just kind of imitating a button, but actually it is a physical button. Like even when the phone's off and you press it, there is a substantial click. So when you go ahead and press that button, it opens up your camera application. And when you're inside the camera, you can press that to take a photo. If you go ahead and lightly half press the button, it does actually use the haptic engine and it pops out with this little notch on the side of your screen. And then you can go ahead and scroll on the button. So it's basically a touchpad. And you can also double light press to open up this menu. So you can scroll through and change things like your tone, your style, change the camera you're using, as well as the zoom, and also the depth and exposure. So there's a few different controls here. Obviously it's geared towards sort of using your phone in landscape, and a lot of content creators now are filming vertically. So, you know, you do have this kind of awkward shuffle. Like when I'm using the camera button, I do kind of hold my phone in this awkward position. But I guess I'll just have to see over time whether I naturally go and use that button or whether I just default back to how I've always operated an iPhone. In the camera settings, there is actually an option for the camera control button. So up here, you can go ahead and actually choose whether it's a single click to open the camera or a double click. And you can also choose whether it opens other apps as well. So it could open up Instagram. It doesn't actually have to open up your default camera application, which is super nice. I think one of my favorite features this year is the fact that you can customize and tweak all of the colors. So like last year, you still have these modes, so you can cycle between vibrant or standard. There's also natural. But the cool part is you can actually use this sort of trackpad at the bottom here, and you can slide up and down, left and right to bring up the saturation, bring down the highlights. You know, you can overall just change the image and tweak it so that you can almost make your own custom LUT on your phone. And this is actually pretty powerful because I went out last night and I took some pictures, and every single shot came out amazing with no editing, purely because I just made that built-in color scheme for the vibe that I was going for, and then every single picture automatically had the exact colors that I wanted right out of the camera. So I think this is a really powerful feature for photographers, and I feel like I'm going to use this a lot. One thing that's kind of sad is that like Apple's whole event was geared around Apple Intelligence and all those new AI features, but we actually don't have those until at least December 2024. And there's rumors that it could even be delayed beyond that. So for a phone that's built from the ground up completely around Apple Intelligence, you would kind of expect it to have it at launch, right? So I feel like a lot of those features Apple showed off aren't actually on the phone yet. And I have played around with them in the beta version on my old 15 Pro Max. They are pretty useful, still a little bit buggy, but I really can't wait to try those on this phone. Just having those AI summaries of all your notifications and your emails is really convenient, and I already miss it going back to the standard first line of your email. You know, it really doesn't give you a lot of information. Often you have to click in the message, click in the email, and actually read it for context, whereas before it kind of did make my life a lot easier. But yeah, so far the experience is literally 15 Pro Max plus a camera button. So yeah. So I've been using the 16 Pro Max now for like a full week, and I've never experienced so many glitches and bugs and crashes as with this phone. Like for an iPhone, this is crazy. This is more glitches and crashes than like even many Android phones I've had. I've had constant rebooting when I'm just using the phone at like crucial moments. Like I was hiring a car the other day and it rebooted in the middle of that process, and that whole aspect of the iPhone is reliable kind of went into question for me. So I really hope Apple do push out an update to fix some of these bugs, especially with the camera application. A lot of my friends have told me like they've had constant crashes and glitches, especially using the new camera button. So I feel like, yeah, first impressions so far are not too good. I'm definitely waiting for Apple to push out the update, because until then, I feel like this right now is pretty unusable. I'll be doing a much more thorough, in-depth video of this phone, including a day in the life. So I'll be showing you the battery life as well as a camera test and how I use the phone during my day. So if you want to see that, definitely do stick around. And I'll be posting a lot of pictures and videos from this phone on my Instagram, so go follow me over there to see some of that. But thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think. Do you think this is a worthy upgrade? And which phone would you upgrade from? Do you think like 12 Pro Max, 13 Pro Max? I personally feel like if you have a 13 Pro Max, it's probably worth upgrading. 14 Pro Max onwards, it gets a bit hazy and it depends more on your needs. But yeah, that's my experience so far. So thank you guys for watching. I will see you in the next one. Peace.